Here I am.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you go grab your cup of coffee or tea and sit down for a few minutes with us. We appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us on Thursday mornings. And we're super excited about today and today's topic. You guys might see that we have our guest on this morning. She was here as well 2 weeks ago. This is Antonia Christensen. We know her as Missy, so we'll probably refer to you as both.
Let's not be so formal.
Right now, we're just casual here. We're just friends. So we'll use Missy. But Antonia Christensen, owner of Antonia Christensen Events, and she's also the co-owner of The Unbounded Life with me. And we are thrilled about this morning's topic, the 4 steps to balance in life.
I have to say something else about Missy.
Yes.
She's also the birthday girl.
Happy birthday,
Missy!
21.
Carvel cakes and balloons
21.
are appreciated.
That's right. A lot of Carvel cakes will probably be delivered today.
Yes.
Fine.
I'll be home if I don't. I'll put them in the freezer.
I love it. Yeah, they're the cake that lasts. That's great. But happy birthday, and thank you for spending your birthday with us.
Yes.
I love it. No problem.
Super fun. So today we're going to talk about the 4 steps to balance. Hi, everybody. We see you guys jumping on. Thank you so much. The 4 steps to balance. And I think this can resonate with anybody, no matter who you are in life, no matter what your role is. I think people are always striving for balance. And so we've got 4 kind of broken down steps on how it's possible to achieve balance. And Missy, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Yeah.
What's that first step?
So the first step is probably one of the easiest because we always know how we're being pulled. And so the first step is to define your role or know your role. And know your role. Know your role. That just means, how are you being pulled and what takes up your time? And so we're all going to give you some things that take up time in our lives. And it's everything. Everything takes up time. And so really knowing what that means. And then I'm going to give you, a little example as well. So I not only am a boss and a company owner, I'm a sister and I'm a teacher. I teach dance every week. That's something I do for myself. Just to name a few.
Yes. One of my roles besides being a mom is I'm a PTA board member, so I'm always at my kids' school helping out there, as well as being a lead planner with Emily Weddings.
Yes. So I'm a wife.
Yeah.
But I'm a special kind of wife. I'm also a military wife.
That's right.
Which, truth be told, brings a whole new dynamic to being a spouse. I'm also a friend. I mean, I'm here with my friends right now. And that's something that I value a lot in life. So I really do want to give, a good portion of my time to that.
That's awesome. And I am a business partner with Missy and a mentor. I'm a daughter, just to name a few. So I think that we all have, if we talk about hats, the hats that we wear, we all carry many roles, many hats on our heads. And so I think it's super important to define what those roles are as the first step to how we get balance in our life.
And to know sometimes, Emily and I have got to speak on this topic before, and sometimes we feel like our hats wear hats and that we have subcategories to our roles.
Mom.
Mom is a really great one because not only are we a mom, but when we're a mom, we're also a short order cook or a taxi driver,
chauffeur,
or
personal stylist.
Yeah. Oh, my boys, they want want nothing now. They have their own style. I'm not allowed to have anything. But a sports cheerleader or a therapist or a math tutor. I make dad do that. English tutor. And being a wife. Yeah. So a lot of our roles have these subcategories, and so we need to, or we yearn to, do a really great job, and balancing that can be overwhelming sometimes.
So the first step we would say is defining your role. We hope you can see this. We're just throwing this up so that you want to hold it.
Yeah.
Okay, so define your role. Know the hats that you wear every day. Maybe write them down. That will help you understand or get a full picture of all of the different roles.
Well, I feel like anytime you write something down, it makes it more real, somehow, more valid.
Right, and it just helps. I like to visualize. So then the second step in achieving balance is to prioritize. And so we're going to show you just a quick analogy. We heard a speaker one time use this analogy, and we're just going to expound on it because we love the idea of it, and it's really an easy way to visualize what we're talking about. So
real quick, Emily, before you do that, I want to say hi to Blake Roberson. He's a wonderful dad, husband, firefighter. He's just wonderful. He's also a DIYer. They're redoing their house right now. So hi, Blake. Thanks for joining us. And Ashley Dempsey says Emily is a rockin' sister, too.
Aw, so sweet. Love you, girl.
So prioritizing. Let's talk about
prioritizing. So we're going to pretend, or just at least use this right now as a good visualization of prioritizing. So let's say that all of the roles, let's carry them down here. All of the roles that we have, we may only get 3 on this.
We're getting a full desk here, folks.
Okay, so let's say that these, I'm going to stand up there a second.
There you go.
Let's say that these boxes are going to contain the roles or the hats or the list that we just created of everything that we do in a given day or in a given week, who we are to others. So let's say that this first box is family, kids. So that one we would put a number 1 on. And then number 2, and we're ordering these. Is this reverse? Should we put one over here?
I'll Vanna for you.
It takes me a second to flip my brain. I've written all of these backwards, but sometimes it takes me a second to go, wait a minute, now how would they sit? So then let's do, is that the...
It goes in the little...
Does it really?
Look at that!
Perfect.
Yes!
This is why we need you. So if I can't get it to stay. Okay. So 3 and then 4. And so let's say that this is how I have prioritized some of my roles. So I'm going to put, for me, husband, family, children. That's box 1. That's definitely a priority for me. Number 2, let's say that we'll put your job or whatever it is that you do livelihood-wise. If you're a homeschooling mom or something, I would even say that could go in box 2. Even though your family's in one.
That's a job. Hello.
The job that you do in helping your children, that's 2. That's box 2. Yeah. So then... and so on and so forth. It's going to just follow suit. So you've prioritized the roles in your life, and then let's say that this is the amount of time and energy that we put towards box. So I'm just going to fill box 1 over there. It's going to get a full. For this season of my life, it's getting the majority of my attention. And then the next thing to get a lot of my attention would be my job. And then... let's say that this next box gets 1, but let's say that right now, box 4 for this season is not going to get filled. For some reason, we have this misconception in life that in order to achieve balance, we have to fill all of the boxes of all of the roles over the entire span of our lives equally at all times, and then that is how you get balance.
Sleep.
Yeah, right.
And also wear makeup.
Right, which is right, and looking good. And we're here to say today that that is not truth when it comes to balance in your life. We take things by seasons.
Absolutely.
And even, we can share. All of us have plenty of stories about the seasons of our lives and how the boxes have been reprioritized and moved around. And that is okay. There's permission, there is freedom, there is grace in that. So we encourage per season to change the priority of the boxes. And again, so box number 1 is redonkulously filled. Box 2 is a little bit more. As we get higher into the boxes, they're going to probably be empty for this season of my life, and I'm okay with that. And so let's say that volunteering for this season of my life is not really happening. That's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna volunteer. It doesn't mean that I don't have a heart for volunteering. Exactly. It means in this season of my life, raising my kids might take priority over this. And then at some point, when something else gets taken off my plate, this box will get filled. The
Off
volunteer
season for weddings.
Right.
Hello, everything else moves forward.
Right. So just basically to prioritize and then fill those boxes in the way that you need to fill them and accept that as balanced. They do not need to be equally filled all the time to be balanced. Okay, so
It feels good just hearing that. Like,
Yeah, right?
And each person's season is different. You know, we've talked about some people on Sunday evenings might make a plan for what their week might look like, and their season might literally be every week.
Right.
Whereas others might be yearly or might literally go with the seasons.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I know that the way that I do my seasons is based and similar to Em's too, actually, based on the kids' school, like sports schedule or school schedule. We kind of, because I don't want to say they run our lives, but we choose for them to be our number one box, and so we make our schedule based around that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and to not compare what your boxes look like or how filled your boxes are.
Yes.
You know, there are others that volunteer all the time, and bravo to them, but that is not my balance right now. And so I'm not going to compare that. I'm not comparing my box to your box.
You
it's
cannot.
very different.
Yeah.
So have freedom in that.
And it's dangerous to do that because you can just throw yourself, into a tizzy. I mean, you'll literally
Exhaustion
never
can set
never
in, and
sleep.
you're never good enough.
Yes.
I feel like.
And you feel like, oh my gosh,
Shining
I can't
example.
get everything done.
Right here.
Yeah, well, I have some girlfriends that they'll say to me, how do you do everything? How do you have time to do that? I love painting furniture. And I'm like, well, something isn't getting done, and that's okay with me because I'm prioritizing my work, my children, my duties with the PTA. I love doing that. So, my house might not be as tidy as it could be.
Right. Or laundry.
Yeah, and my husband is also okay with that. He's okay with me doing these things. We've discussed it, and our season, that's what I'm doing, and that's okay. And not everyone has to do
your
the same
DIY
things.
craft stuff is therapeutic for you.
Yeah, that's my
so it's really it's her box.
fills your soul.
Fill my soul box.
Definitely.
Where somebody might see that as more of a chore, and so they're going, what box does that fall into? It's because y'all's lives will not look similarly, and that's okay. And yeah. So
Well, and Brittany will come to my house, which my households, the cleanliness and the organization of my household is a top 3 box for me. I mean, for sure, that's just who I am. It's what I do. And Brittany will come over and say, gosh, your house is always so clean. But also, I have at least 10 DIY projects that are lined up and waiting, and I just haven't gotten around to them because I'm too busy cleaning my house. So different strokes for different folks.
That's right.
I mean, it looks different for everyone.
And laundry gets done like twice
Whatever.
a week in my house, and that is my balance for this season. And I'm not going to compare it to the person that has to do laundry every day, fold it, and get it back into all of the dresser drawers by 9 a.m.
Yes.
I am not that person, and that so I'm not going to compare my life to that person. It's twice a week, and that's my balance. So, first one, define your roles. The second step is to prioritize those roles. So think hats. Define your roles. How many hats do you wear? Prioritize. How many boxes take priority right now? So those are those two. And then Missy.
So Michelle Kilgore, hi. Amanda Manupella, hello. These ladies also have a lot of different boxes and wear a lot of different hats. Business owners, parents, wives, military spouses. So hi ladies, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. What did Amanda say? Amanda said, someone tell my husband that is normal. Ha. Yes. We will have him watch this, and we will all stick together and explain that this is balance.
Yeah. Well, and you could do it with your husband or your spouse. Sit down with them to define both of your roles separately and prioritize them. Yes. Let them know, like, I want to make this my priority. Is it okay within our family for me to put this above that?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, just discuss it with them and do it together, make them a part of it, and then there should be no arguing, hopefully.
And I guess that's something I haven't really thought about, is to actually, see this as a real thing. All of this.
Yeah.
Like as a real thing, a family issue to talk about, to discuss. It's a thing and it needs to be discussed. And that's something that for me, I've never really...
I think a lot of people think balance is an unattainable goal. It's like this like unicorn that's like this mythical creature. And it's definitely something that has to be worked at, and as a family it has to be worked at. And just like Emily was saying, no families are the same, and no women in business are the same, or no stay-at-home mom is the same. Everyone's schedule is different and priorities are different. So it's, it is a great family discussion.
And I love that. I want to throw this out there. When Missy just said that it's something we all have to work at, it's an actual thing that requires attention and thoughtfulness.
Yes.
There was a period when right after I started Emily Weddings here in Virginia, where maybe we were into the first 1 or 2 years, and I sat on the steps. I had a child at that point, 1, and I bawled my eyes out. I was in tears because I thought, when my business is getting what it deserves, my family was suffering. And when I felt like my family was getting what they deserved, I felt like my business was suffering. And it was a very hard moment in life to learn they can both get the attention that they need. I just needed to do a better job at prioritizing them. So finding out what my roles were, and then prioritizing. And then the other thing is the boundaries. So as a business owner, when do you clock in and when do you clock out? And do you set those? What goals do you set? Missy, what would you say about boundaries?
Yes, you clock in and you clock out.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah, says the woman that hasn't had a day off and I don't know when. But yeah, so boundaries is step 3, and it is so important. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But for me, it's always important to me that every box knows how important they are to me. If that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. Totally.
Yeah. So my kids need to know that when I am with them, that they have my undivided attention, and my husband needs to know the same thing, and my clients need to know the same thing, and Emily needs to know that if we're having a Friday morning meeting or whatever time we give to each other during that season, because typically we have a day or a time that's just Em and Miss time. Sometimes with Ellie Mae, whatever. Sometimes we have a little one with us. But that she has my undivided attention. And so I look, and we do that part together for our business, but for me, I look at my schedule and I say, okay, I know that every week I want to work late in my studio for any client that can't come during my traditional office hours.
So it's a set day.
It's a set day. But I also do have traditional office hours. Yes. So, and I think that's really hard in our industry because a lot of people just kind of are at the beck and call of their clients. And I do, look, the phone is right here. It's not going anywhere. Because I always have with me, but I also, I feel like when I started setting boundaries, I started getting more respect as a business owner. Cut and dry. Yeah. And I also felt that my clients and my family and my friends respected that. They knew that, what time was theirs and who was everyone else's. So it's not easy by any means, but this is what I have done.
I was going to say, give us an example.
3 days a week at minimum, from the time my children get off the bus until dinner time, through dinner time, really. There is nothing else besides my family. That is, I do not waver on that.
Important.
That is it. And 1 day a week I work late, and if I have to work till midnight in the studio while my husband is probably where the heck is she? Until I meet with every client that wants to see me that week after hours, I will do that. Now, also with technology, just like we're doing here, we do a lot of video stuff, so that sometimes that office night becomes home office night, and I do a lot of video conferences. But either way, that 1 night a week is, to my clients. Those are just a few things I've done.
And your schedule, and this is just because I've known you for so many years, your schedule looks different every year. Yeah. And it's based around your children's schedule. So your late night in the office once a week will change from year to year, and your clients will know that ahead of time because you take into account your children's sports schedule or activities or your husband's
teaching schedule.
Your teaching schedule for dance or your husband's, schedule at work or whatever, and you kind of plan it out, and then your clients know, okay, this year it's Tuesday night or it's Wednesday night. And then I love the sacred time you have with your kids because if you're there when they get off the bus and you help them with their homework, you're giving them 100% of yourself. They feel loved. You don't feel the guilt that would come from trying to do all things at all times. You're able to focus on them. And then when you go back to the studio to be with a client, you can totally focus on them knowing that your kids got filled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you did too. So boundaries are super important in order for you to fill each box appropriately. So after you've prioritized those boxes, you then need to make sure that you're going to fill them with how you've prioritized them. And the only way that that is possible is to set boundaries around those times or those boxes.
Yes, and I wanted to say, and I said this last time Em and I got to not got to speak to each other because that's every day, but when we got to speak at the women's show, one thing that I said, because a lot of people say I can't, that's a drastic change for me, but so if it means instead of volunteering every Tuesday for a month in the kids class, it means every other Tuesday in the kids class. That's
a lot.
you know, that's setting a boundary. So, or if it's whatever it happens to be, but just starting small. You know, instead of planning 3 nonprofit events next year, I'm only going to plan 2 nonprofit events, you know, or whatever it is. You know, it's like little. It's it's starting little, and it'll really help you.
And I think writing it down is helpful. Scheduling it in. I have a friend who is a stay-at-home mom, and every Monday since her children were born, that is her day to clean. She does not do anything else that day. I respect that.
How do you do that?
I know. I'll ask her, like, hey, you want to go to lunch today? And she's like, nope, this is what I do today. And then all week, she's free to do everything else on her priority list because that is done that day. So writing it down and scheduling it all in.
Well, and sticking to
will
that
kind of help you feel better too.
Creating that boundary, sticking to
Okay, so let's move on to 4. We're running out of time, guys, and we don't want to keep you all day. The last step, and this is a big one. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of like, let's run it up, because this is a big one.
This is huge.
This is a big one.
Brittany, can you see that?
Say no. Okay.
Emily tells me this all the time.
Me too.
I have embraced the word no. And
you have to.
I'm going to explain why. Because, as I get back over here, this is one key point that you have to remember when you feel that obligatory yes coming on to a question, to an answer.
The obligatory
yes.
No.
For every yes you say, you are saying no to something. Remember that, embrace it, be empowered by it, because your obligatory yes to whatever the question was that just was asked to you, you are saying no to friends, you're saying no to your spouse, you're saying no to your children, you're saying no to alone time or an activity that you wanted to do. You have to weigh those things out. Is this yes something I truly want to do, something I have been desiring to do, or is this the obligatory yes because now I'm feeling guilted into and I feel like I have to because they're in my face and I've got to give them an answer? Which brings me to my next point of saying no. If someone is face to face with you and you feel like I've got to give them an answer, or they're saying I need an answer now, I remember my vocal coach growing up, my vocal coach said to me, if someone needs to know the answer right now, then the answer is no. If you can't respect the fact that I need to weigh it out, I need to prioritize it, I need to think through my answer, if they don't want to give you that respect or that time, then the answer is no thank you. Maybe check back with me another time, and it can be possible then, but the answer for now then is no thank you. But it's always nice if you feel like you're that kind of person who gets pressured into saying yes. Your new phrase is thank you so much for asking. I'm going to need to get back with you on that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you. Thank you so much for asking. I need to get back with you on that. And then you can weigh it out and prioritize it. But learning to say no so that you can say yes to the other
Stick
parts
to your
of life.
boundaries.
And have an accountability partner if you're like, if you're
But don't have Brittany right.
Don't, yeah. Okay, listen, it's not one of these two.
No, we're gonna start doing that. So right now,
It might not be me,
Say no.
but Emily is a really good, because I often also like I'll often call Em and she'll say like, no, like what are you thinking? But not like, it's just because, and I don't want to say Emily doesn't have a heart. She's got a huge heart.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's better at like, because she can see the exhaustion I think in our faces, and she's like, but here's how much more exhaustion
And you don't want to get burnt out on
Yes,
the things that you
exactly.
love.
I totally have a heart. I have a heart for the
huge heart.
priorities that
Yes.
you have placed. I have a heart for you and your restoration and where you prioritized your boxes. And so if that means you're taking away from something else, then the answer is no. For this season, it doesn't have to be this way always. It's
Correct.
for now in this moment, and that's the beauty, the freedom that we want to provide you guys with today is that it doesn't always have to look the same way. You don't have to always wear all of the hats. You don't always have to have everything prioritized in the first box. That's unwise. So we know that hi Allison, thank you so much for joining. You guys
Allison
are so
and
wonderful.
Monique as well. Hi, Monique. And Mandy.
Mandy, thank you
Mandy
guys.
Engel.
She's
We're-
wearing a new hat.
We're
Yeah,
not.
she
She is wearing a new hat. We don't want to
Big old new hat.
keep you guys. We are at our 20-minute mark. But Missy, did you want to throw anything else in, or those are the 4
Yeah,
points?
those are the 4.
That is.
Yeah.
This is the
So
mix.
can we review them again?
Yes, we're gonna
ladies?
run over them real quick.
Yes. Well, and I wanted to say that starting in January, Emily and I will be
Yes,
hosting.
please.
So starting in January, and every month thereafter until you get sick of us, Emily and I with the Unbounded Life are going to be hosting Gab and Grow sessions, which are open roundtable discussions of things just like this.
These topics.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
So
we'll
fun.
share like where to join us and all of that. But
Yeah, we would
Hey,
love to
Jennifer
see
Fortson.
this. Fortson, yay!
Hi.
Hey, Jen. I needed to hear this today.
I need
just
to hear
got my
this
first
every
note
day,
yesterday.
girl.
High five! I'm giving you
Yes.
that. And feeling bad about it. No, ma'am. But I was saying yes to me being able to actually sleep last night. Jen, I'm so proud of you. I'm
Yes.
so proud of you. Guilt is not allowed in this.
No,
That's
no.
when you are thinking about, you're not just
so
refusing them, you're actually giving life to something else that you needed to give life to. So there is no guilt. That was a wise move. High five.
Yes.
Bravo. Thank you guys so much for joining. Again, thank you to our guest and happy birthday to
Thank you.
Antonia Christensen.
Yes.
Missy. We appreciate you being here. And then thank you to the viewers for spending Thursday morning with us. If you're watching this at another time, we just appreciate you hanging out with us. We really do. And we hope that this has been liberating, educational for you guys. That's our heart behind this. This is our show, Ion Events. We are Emily Weddings. You can find us on all forms of social media as Emily Weddings. And then we meet here every Thursday morning at 10:40 to have coffee with you to talk about anything, events, parties,
Balance.
wedding, balance. We like to talk about life, but we hope that you guys have a wonderful Thursday. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
And happy
Have a great
birthday
weekend.
again. Hey, remember, and Missy would like Carvel ice cream cakes, y'all. All right.
Less of us.
The best.
See you next week.